Okay, so for my Dusty Miller, I have my template. You can download in the description as usual, but I already pre-cut one of my leaves. I'm going to use Wafer paper. This is Saracino 0.27 millimeters, but any thin Wafer paper would work. And I'm going to use 26 gauge wire. I'll take just half of my wire. And I'm going to transfer my leaf onto my Wafer paper. For this application to make in these leaves, I'm going to use bumpy side as my face side for both sides, and I'm going to create double thickness Wafer paper as I usually do for my leaves and for my foliage. So I'm going to take my pencil and transfer my template onto my Wafer paper. And as usual, these templates are just guides, so you don't need to be exact. You can create any shape you wanted to, as long as you like it. I roughly draw my shape, and I will need 2 layers to make my leaf. I'm going to cut 2 pieces of Wafer paper, and I'm going to prepare my wire and use my Wafer paper conditioner. So this is just clear acid tonic, my Wafer paper conditioner, which is made out of glycerin and water. You can see this is my bumpy side, and I'm going to apply it on the smooth side just to sandwich my Wafer paper and insert the wire. So I'm applying thin layer of my conditioner because I wanted to show you 2 ways how to make Wafer paper Dusty Miller in white and green. And you can see I'm placing my wire here in the middle, but on the back side of my Wafer paper, and I'm going to place another piece of Wafer paper to sandwich my wire between 2 layers like this, and I have my wire going through the whole leaf and through the whole Dusty Miller leaf. Now I'm going to cut my leaf through both layers, and I'm trying to cut in between my pencil marks just to be safe and make sure that I do not have anything extra I don't need to. Now that I have my leaf cut, I'm going to place it on my foam part and use sharp end of the Drezden tool. Just create few lines mimicking veins and texture on a Dusty Miller leaf. And I'm going to take my ball tool and run it on the ends of my Dusty Miller to make it look not as flat as just paper. And bend it over to give it some shape and movement, like this. So if you wanted to leave it white, you just need to add texture. But because I wanted to show you how to paint, I'm going to paint first and show you both textures. And the beauty of working with Wafer paper, you can use any gel color and just simply paint on your Wafer paper. I wanted this color to be Dusty Miller light green blue shade. So I have here Cyprus and I have here blue and a little bit of white. So I'm going to mix my colors and play and see what shade I like. And I have a piece of Wafer paper, just a scrap piece, so I can test if I like the color. And I know that I will need probably quite a lot of this white gel color. I do like the cypress color mixed with white, but I need to add just a touch of blue to make it look like a Dusty Miller shade. So here's my mixture, and I'm going to test it. So you can see that's the shade I'm going for. Maybe I will add a little bit more white to make it lighter. Like this. And I'm going to use this color to paint my Wafer paper on both sides. I will start with the back side and paint my Wafer paper, because on the front side I wanted to add texture, and it is going to be easier to apply when my color or my paint is still sticky. And I will set it aside to dry for a second before painting on the front side and applying my texture. And then while it's still sticky, I wanted to add a little bit of texture, and to do that I'm going to use rice flour. You can use semolina flour, but make sure that it's very finely ground. I find that rice flour is perfect for this application because you can see that the texture is not as fine as regular flour. It's a little bit coarser and it looks like an edible flag you can apply to your leaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint my leaf with this gel color mixture. And while it's still sticky, I'm going to take my rice flour and generously apply thin layer onto my Dusty Miller, like this. And now you can see the beautiful texture it gives your flower, it gives your leaves if you wanted to use it and create realistic looking Dusty Miller. And I'm going to set it aside to dry on my foam, making sure it's not flat and it has some movement. And we are going to apply the same texture to our white Dusty Millers. And for my texture on my white Dusty Miller, I'm going to use the same rice flour, but to attach it to my Wafer paper, I'm going to use piping gel. I find actually for something like this, it's much easier to apply piping gel with your finger, or you can use a brush, but make sure that you're applying your layer very thin and to all the crevices and pieces of this Dusty Miller. Now that my surface is sticky, I'm going to take a piece of paper and generously sprinkle with rice flour. Now you can see it gives me like almost flock-like texture, and if I wanted to bend my Dusty Miller and place it in an arrangement, I can do that. And also another option you can do to make it even more sparkly or very suitable is to use something like an edible glitter spray. And now you can see how all the texture plays with the flock and sparkle for your Dusty Miller.